What's up, everybody? This is Jay from Will's VG Addiction here with a box of absolute trash from eBay. I paid $53 for this shipped and with taxes. It's kind of high, but price charting has this lot at $167 apparently. Obviously, you got to factor in condition and all that, so certainly not going to be $167 here. But let's take a look at what we got and see what we can fix. So we got San Francisco Rush here. No label. Card is all scratched up. I don't think any of these have screws. Obviously, this one, at least this one here, has the shielding, which is absolutely trashed. I'm going to go ahead and throw that in the garbage. And then we look at the game, and from what we can see here, maybe we should zoom in a little. Probably some corroded away traces. Obviously, the pins look terrible. That is one. Let's see what this one is worth. Supposedly $12, but obviously no label, so maybe $5. I don't know. I'd be lucky to get that, I think, but this one is not going to be worth a board swap. We'll just see what we can get working on that and go from there. Let's put that one aside. And the reason I'm talking about value, like, I'm not going to put a lot of work into these if they're not resellable. I really don't care about any of these games. So we got FIFA Road to World Cup 98, and apparently this is a $16 loose game. Obviously the label's trashed on there. I don't know, is this something that people is this a sought after game? That's definitely not going to work, but obviously we can just pull the chips and put that on something else. And I have a massive stash of Japanese cards, so I don't know that this one will be worth doing a chip swap on, but I'll take a look. I mean, I've got plenty of Maddens and other trash sports games to pull from as well. So we'll take a look at that and see if that's worth doing a chip swap on. Obviously, you can't fix that board. We've got Toy Story 2. And that one has a nice line of what looks to be corrosion right there. So I'm sure there are some broken traces. This one I think is worth like $12 or something. $13.98 apparently. So I don't see this one being super sought after. Well, we'll see what's going on with it. Probably just repair those, no board swap. Assume that the damn card actually works. Like, the chips might be bad too, you never know. All right, so we've got A Bug's Life here, former Blockbuster rental copy with a terrible label, as all of them have, apparently. This is completely disgusting. We'll throw that in the trash as well. I could save those. I could probably like sand them down and stuff, but I've got so many junk carts, it's not even worth the time. Oh, that's crusty. All right, so this one is kind of the same deal here. We've got some corrosion, some rust, so forth and so forth. Hopefully none of these have bugs. This one actually, like with the pattern of the dirt, looks like it could have been like a roach copy. Somebody's super awesome pube in there too. That's disgusting. Let's throw that away. Man, oh man, these are absolutely gross. I've messed with a lot of gross, like really gross stuff lately, and I'm kind of just over it, to be honest with you. I would like some nice, you know, just generally rusted games. That's totally fine, but stuff with like pubes and fucking bugs and stuff like that, I'm over that. I really am. All right, let's put that one away. Got 007, which is roughly $20. I think that one's worth putting some effort into. Wow, surprisingly, that one is super clean. What's wrong with this one? The back has a little corrosion. We'll clean that up. We'll take a closer look at it and see if there's a broken trace there. Hopefully it's not the chip, but again, you never know. Got Mario 64 with a tore up label. Another absolutely rusted to shit shielding. We'll throw that away. Take that one. Ugh, look at that. Something's definitely spilling on that. But the board does not look bad. It looks pretty clean. Pins are nice. I mean, obviously with the more expensive ones, probably somebody put a little effort into cleaning them. But I don't see, with the naked eye, I don't see any broken traces there. So let's hope, again, the chip is not bad. I'll just toss those little things to the side for now. I'm sure you can tell what this one is. One of two options here. We got N64 Donkey Kong 64 or whatever. Missing the back label there. It's not a huge deal. This one also looks pretty nice, except for that. There's a massive line there, which is probably hiding some corrosion. So we'll see how that one goes. And last but not least, a really, really faded and worn copy of Mario Party 2. So I figure if I can get this one working, 30 bucks maybe back. Oh man, what is that? Look at that. I don't know, something crusted on there. Maybe that's metal polish. That's what it looks like. It looks like dried metal polish. Well, we'll take a look at them. We'll take a closer look at them. I've got my microscope camera set up, but not to my computer for recording. It's set up to my TV, so I'm going to aim the iPhone at the TV while I'm working on these so you can see what I'm doing with a much closer view and hopefully a nice clear view, because this camera is way better than the old one that I had. I just had all this stuff packed up forever and a day and just getting it all out now. And honestly, I don't remember. I think I had a Bluetooth microphone. I just don't remember how to use it, and I don't know if I have all the parts for it. So I'll figure that out at some point. Hopefully we'll start doing some quality videos here. All right, let's start with Mario Party 2. Take a look at it. We'll clean it up and see what we're working with. Hopefully the resolution will be okay when you guys see what I see. I've got my microscope camera over here set up to my little tester TV. And this is going to be a little bit farther away than it is right now. And obviously I'm going to have a tripod set up to where, you know, I'm not moving around and shaking and whatnot. So hopefully this will be much, much better for you all as it will be for me. But as we look at this cart under the microscope, we've got one track here that's completely, well, I'm sure that one's okay, but it's obviously corroded to hell. That one's probably broken. That one's probably broken. That one's probably broken. So I'm going to fix those up, but being that this is Mario Party 2, right, even with the faded label, worth a little bit of money. I've got this Japanese Mario Tennis, which I got for maybe like $2 or $3. I'm going to go ahead and do the board swap on there, but of course I still want this one to work. So I'm going to swap the chip out, and then I'm going to fix this one. But I've got this socketed board here. This is Duke Nukem 64. I was working on this last night. It doesn't work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this chip out and socket it first and test it that way. So at least I know that it's a working chip. And then from there, I'll do the board swap, and then I'll work on this one. So I'm going to do all of this stuff off camera. I'm going to pull this chip. I'm going to make sure it works. I guess I can show you that part. I'm not going to show myself pulling the chip, but I mean, that's standard stuff, and it's really tedious and annoying sometimes. Though I did clean, like I did a very, very thorough clean on my desoldering gun, and it works like brilliantly now. It's just super, super nice. So I guess I got to do a deep clean every couple of weeks to make sure that it's actually good. And I thought I did one before I moved, but it's been sitting for like a year. So I guess any residue or whatever got gummed up. Neither here nor there. So yeah, again, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and pull some chips and start swapping stuff around. And then we will get to fixing, which one is it? This board. We'll actually do the traces on there and get this fully working again. And more than likely that will be like a giveaway to somebody. I've got this Facebook Secret Santa thing going. So sadly, that person's probably going to get a lot of repaired stuff. But I'll check back with you in a little bit. All right, so I've got my socketed chip here. Let's see if this actually works. I expect it to. Oh, that's interesting. I've never seen that before. Sure, whatever. I think I have it on mute. Cool. So we know that works. Turn that shit down again. So we know that works. Again, I'm going to go ahead and pull this. You know what? I might as well show you that the desoldering actually takes seconds. When you have these things clean, like the tools are clean, they work very, very well. So that's working like it's supposed to. That's actually a joy to use at this point. So let me go ahead and pull everything out of here, and then put that in, which one? That one. And then fix that, and that will be Mario Tennis, not Mario Mario Party 2. Sorry, thinking about something else right now. Anyway, when you get old, your mind just drifts off. Trust me. Don't get old. I know you can't help it, but do your best not to. All right, let's get set up. What I'm going to do, I've shown this in another video and several other videos that I've done, but they've all been trash, so I'm probably not going to post them. Let me duck underneath this camera so I can show you. Of course, I can't see what I'm doing because I'm too far away, but I've got a little Dremel etching tool thing here. It's been really, really good for scraping corrosion off and exposing the traces. So it's way, way better. I'll show you a closer view a little bit later on, but it's way, way better than using an X-Acto knife or a fiberglass pen or anything like that. So I'll use that to expose the traces there, and we'll go from there. So I just want to explain that before I do it. So I have this on. It's got 3 settings. I'll have it on the 2nd setting. Should be good enough. And we're gonna let's actually see if that has any continuity first before I start scraping stuff. And it does not. Looks like there's a couple places on this track here that are no good, so that doesn't look so hot right there. There's definitely nothing there. So let's expose that, and then we'll work down the line and then start fixing them all at the same time. I'm gonna zoom in a little for this one. And I'll actually show you how getting some of this corrosion off these pins is pretty good, pretty easy with this tool. I wouldn't use it on anything that isn't like an extreme case, but if you see something like this where the pin is basically completely pitted and eaten up, like, it does a wonderful job at getting that corrosion off. So to do that, let me show you that first. I'm going to put this on the 1st setting because the 2nd and 3rd settings are a little bit aggressive for removing corrosion, and we don't want to be too aggressive. We just want to get the surface crud off. So just be very light-handed with it, and it's pretty good. I don't think there's a whole lot of anything there, though. Could be wrong. That looks broken to me. Like I said, you don't want this to be your first solution for trying to remove stuff off the pins. Like, this is like total last resort type stuff, but I don't think there's any continuity on that pin anyway. Sure isn't. Is there anything there? Yeah, it's okay, but yeah, this is completely broken right here. That's wild. I've never seen that before. All right, well, that's pretty easy to fix. We'll get a little bit more aggressive with that one. I'll put that on the 2nd setting, and then you can see in this angle how scratched up it looks. So it's not like, it's not very pretty, but it works. So we'll expose a little bit more copper there. Let's go over that a little bit again. It should be good. Well, that's interesting. It doesn't look like there's a break there. Or maybe it's just the light. Let me take a look at that again. Where is that break then? There's a break somewhere on this line. Unless it's, oh, I'm looking at the wrong one. That's retarded. Okay, well, shit. I screwed that one up. There's no break there. This one is definitely broken though. Whoops. That's all right. That's pretty common for me to screw up while I'm making videos. All right, on to the other side. So I don't really care. I mean, we all make mistakes. I don't really care. I'm not overly concerned about that. This board is going to look like shit regardless. So I don't mind. If there's corrosion on here, I'll take it off. Put this back on the first setting. Now you'll notice. Let me get some alcohol on here. If this is wet, you can see all the rust, all the brown, but you can see quite a bit of that even without it being wet. Smooth that out a little bit. I think there might be a break underneath this component too. Pull that up just a little bit to expose that. That looks broken there as well, unless that's just in the print. Can't tell, but a lot of that track is just completely eaten away. No, well, yeah, actually that's totally broken there. Let's see if we can't see that. It's hard to see it, but let's zoom in. How much can we get in? So right underneath here, it's really hard to see with that glare from the light, but there's a couple of cracks in that solder, or in the copper right here. There's one line here and then one line right here. Very difficult to see with the glare. Let me turn the light down a little bit so you can see. I gotta catch the angle just right. You can kind of see it there. There's a crack right here and then one right here as well. So let's keep on scraping. Let's pull out just a little bit. And keep on scraping. Get all this crud off. Yeah, that track right there is completely eaten away. This one's not too far behind it. See that right there is completely pitted and it's hanging on by a string. Get all this shit off too. See all that brown rust in there? I would recommend, I mean, this is totally up to you, but if you're doing this sort of thing, just get all the rust off of there. I know it's gonna look like shit, but I mean, it's gonna look like shit anyway, so might as well get all that stuff out of there. And that's a very thick track, so that one, honestly, That was good regardless. I just want to get all that rust and stuff off of there. So I'll probably do the same thing here where we see a lot of rust starting to form up on this track here. Just get rid of it. All right, that looks pretty decent. So now I'm just going to get some of this rust off it. Well, I don't really know that I should. With the rust on the pins isn't that bad. But if you're not heavy-handed with this tool, it's definitely very usable for this sort of thing. There's unfortunately a great deal of pitting on these because of the rust already. So it's going to be impossible to make this look good. But right now, like I said, my concern is basically just getting the rust off so it doesn't continue to eat away. So the thing is on a time limit too, so that doesn't help. My light apparently does not like being adjusted. It's either on high or it wants to flicker. Weird. I don't use the adjustment very often. I generally keep it on the highest setting for what I'm doing, but I don't know that's the best thing for this job. All right. So let me go ahead and clean this off so you guys can see what's going on with this. Now, again, I want to reiterate because I know there's going to be people out there going, "Oh, you should just use vinegar." You know, that doesn't do a great job at getting heavy rust and corrosion stuff off of these boards. I'm sure it helps, and I'm sure it helps with this thing not continuing to rust. I'm sure that's pretty good, but I mean, for a quick, this is nasty. For a quick job, and again, this one is pretty bad. There's a great deal of pitting on these pins, and honestly, to the naked eye, unless you shine it in a certain light, like you're not really going to see it. But I again would not recommend that as like your first response to corrosion and whatnot. There's a lot of less aggressive ways to get stuff off. So before people start, you know, bitching and whining and moaning about that, that's my stance on that. Do not do that as a first response. All right. So with this being what it is, I don't think it's necessarily a terrible idea to run a thicker wire from the trace itself to the vias on the back of here, like from here to here, but it keeps me in practice to do the regular thin trace line repairs. So that's what I'm going to do here. This one does not need, this thicker one here does not need like a, I don't think it needs any work really, but I'm going to put some solder on there to kind of strengthen that signal. I don't think there's any issues there though. Or is there? Here we go. All right. So that's fine. I'm just going to add some solder to that anyway. So I'm going to grab some flux. I'm going to put flux on all the affected areas that are going to get some work. I'm going to use a little hot air just to kind of warm the board a little bit. You don't have to do that, but it helps the flux melt a little bit. Man, there's a lot of tracks on here that are really bad. Just flip this around. Where are we at here? There's one. I think that would be okay. I'll add some solder to that anyway, but this area right here definitely needs some help. You can clearly see that break right there. That pin is completely detached from everything else. Actually, you know what? Let's do that one first. That's the easy side. I'm gonna put a little bit of paper towel underneath here to keep the flux off my mat because I'm lazy and I don't like constantly cleaning stuff. So let's do that now. I've got a heater going in my garage because it's absolutely freezing in here. So let me turn that off while I work with this stuff because I don't want to blow a fuse. All right. I've only got this at 100 degrees. It's not too high right now. Don't need it to be high. So I'm just warming things up so I can get that solder to turn from gel to liquid. Then I'm going to grab, as I finagle with my tools, grab my soldering iron, and I'm going to tin that area up. Just tin that up for the sake of doing it. And I'm going to put some nail polish or this area too, or some regular old solder mask. I don't know where my my UV light is. So I'm probably just going to go with the nail polish. You know, I'll clean that up a little. There's a giant blob on there. It looks terrible, but I'll clean that up later. For right now, I just want to get that area tinned up. Same there. Now I can use, and I think I will use, a little bit thicker wire there. Let's go ahead and strip this. Turn this to the side just a little so it's easier for me to work with. And so I don't breathe shit in. You guys aren't going to be able to hear anything if I use the fume extractor. Let me just turn on a fan. So I don't breathe all this crap in. That looks like absolute trash. I may just want to use a thinner wire. I don't know. It's not going to work. Hold this wire up just a little bit. That looks god awful. That's okay. Let me clip off all that excess shit. You don't need. Wow, that looks terrible. So I will admit this is the first time I've ever used anything other than like that super thin wire that I generally use. That looks god awful. Let's pull that up some and then clean off the excess a little bit later. Oh man, this one's not going well. You know what? I think I'm just gonna use the thin wire. I don't like this stuff at all. And I could probably use some helping hands at this point as well, but again, too lazy right now. Don't be lazy. Don't be like me. I'm always very lazy with this shit. I don't want to go breaking extra crap out and adjusting the microphone or a microscope and everything else. All right, let's try that one again. As a matter of fact, you know what? You know what might be a good idea? Why don't we try use like a little piece of that wick. That's if I cut it down to size. No, that's not gonna work. It's gonna fray too much. I'm stubborn. I'm gonna go back to using this thin wire one more time, but I'm just gonna clip it. I'm gonna tin it up first, and I'm gonna clip it down, and then we'll just go from there. That might be another mistake that I made, is I just try to use it right off the spool, and then try to clip it later. Yeah, this is not, I don't like using braided wire for this. It's just a single wire is so much easier to work with. So that's what we'll do here. We just need the continuity, that's all. It doesn't need to be beautiful, it doesn't need to be perfect. We just need the continuity. Oh man, what a shit start to this video. Alright, that's good enough. We'll clip that, make sure we got continuity, and move on and do a better job on the other side. Wow. Looks terrible. nasty looking pin there. So once I'm done with this, I'll scrape everything off. I shouldn't say scrape. I will clean everything off with a toothbrush and alcohol and all that. And I'll throw this thing in the ultrasonic cleaner and make sure it's relatively nice. But we got to get it working first. So a little hot air. Turn that temp up just a little. And get all this gel to be melted. We'll tin up our areas. And then we'll use our patented thin ass fucking wire. I'm sorry if you guys don't like cursing. I curse a lot. I've tried to curb it, but you know, no, just not gonna do it. Alright, so again, we'll add a little bit of extra solder there, just to kind of give that signal a little bit more strength. I'd like to believe that works. I'll clean that up a little bit later. I don't like the blobs. I think that looks like ass. You know, even if we are, you know, hacks, we don't want to present ourselves to be hacks all the time. Do some decent work once in a while. That's what I'm trying to get accomplished here. So, like I said, just even though I am a bit of a hack, I like to make it look fairly nice. So I'll just run that wire like around where that trace should be. And looking at that corrosion there, let me get some of that off too, just because I don't want it to continue eating away at the trace. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I know the camera's actually behind me. I'm kind of far away and I'm sitting here mumbling. We'll see how this one turns out. I'm going to turn that up to a 2. All right. Again, this is kind of a test to see how these videos will turn out now that we got a much better microscope for sure, but my setup is definitely not where I would like for it to finally be. But trying to find the time and honestly the effort to do this, like my work schedule sucks and it's going to suck for a long time. It's just not going to get any better anytime soon. So do the best I can with what time I have. Let's burn off some of this excess. I know you guys can't see that part, but just use the iron to heat up the wire and get all that enamel off. It's not going to be perfect, but that's all right. Now, what I did with my tweezers, there we go. I have a bad habit of just like tossing stuff aside as I'm using it, and then I don't pay attention to where I do that. Again, I think that comes with getting older. I just don't care as much as I used to. All right, rambling here. So let's patch this trace here. I don't think I have enough solder on my tip. And I think my tweezers are bent to where I can't grip it. Let me grab another set of tweezers there. Yep, that did not go well. Let's try that again. Come on. That I believe is my 2 favorite words there. Good enough. I'll go ahead and twist that off without hopefully pulling up the rest of that track. Did I pull that up? No, that's good. Straight tripping. All right, move on to the next one. Now, something you may notice as you're watching this video is how I'm using a curved tip, and there's a blob of solder that's not quite on the tip there. Works for me most of the time. I prefer working with this tip. It might not be the best thing for you. You might want to try a straight tip, but for me, this is basically what I learned to solder with, and trying to use anything else just does not feel right to me. So again, kind of up to you how you feel like doing this stuff. Do what works best for you. But I feel like it's very versatile for what I'd use it for. And this would be significantly easier if I knew what my X-Acto knife was. I'm gonna see if I can't find one in the crap I have here. Yeah, it's not my normal one, but that's what I'll use. A little bit easier than trying to twist it off is just get down to the base and pull up and let the X-Acto knife do the work. Alright, we're good there. We have a few more to go. My hands are shaky as shit right now. This is not going well. Good Lord. I don't think that's making a great contact here. Alright, that looks alright, I guess. Not amazing, but a little out of practice too, so all the little techniques that I had gotten pretty good at, I think, and I haven't really used them for last year. It take a little while to come back to me. So needless to say, I would say that I suck right now. Some of you may say I suck all the time. That's totally fair too. Technique is absolutely terrible. But it'll come. I just need to practice more. Again, with the work schedule being what it is, I don't know how much time. Hopefully over the holidays I'll get a little bit of time to do this kind of stuff. But moving forward for the next couple of years, it just does not look very promising. a lot of stuff going on work-wise. All right, that looks okay-ish. So my goal with this one, hopefully it'll work first time up. Don't have to go back and redo anything. I'll go ahead and clean it up, and then once I clean it up, I'll show you before I put the nail polish or solder mask or whatever it is I'm going to use. I'll show you what it looks like before that. It's not going to look nearly as bad as it does underneath the microscope here. Obviously, this is very zoomed in, and you guys are getting the most dramatic angle possible, and it's still got all kinds of crud and shit on it too. The flux is goopy and just holding all the dirt on there too, so that doesn't help either. So once we get it all cleaned up, it'll be nice. Nicer. I used to be way better at getting these wires straight too. I don't like how it looks when it's curved. Like I said, it really doesn't matter. Nobody else is gonna go looking at the stuff underneath the microscope. It's just for my own personal, I don't know, OCD, I guess. This is actually working out really well, having that nice reserve solder right there. We just tighten that up right there, and I think we'll be good. All right, so now with that being done, I think that's all of them. We'll test continuity, but before we do that, I really want to just I really want to just tighten up some of these blobs, and I'll put a little bit of solder on that just to clean that up. I really don't have to. Actually, I probably shouldn't. I'm just gonna cover that up with nail polish anyway. But all right, so I will grab my wick and just clean that up a little, not too much, but just get that blob off. I don't like the blobs. There we go. That looks fairly decent. I'll clean this area up just a little. It still looks like trash right there. I really don't like that. I should just leave well enough alone, but I'm not really good at doing that either. All right. Let's test all of our work for continuity and make sure that we're good to go. Then we'll pop that chip in, clean everything up, and hopefully we'll have a working game here. So this, oh man, I can't see anything. This goes here. This one goes here. Just to verify that one's good. It should be fine here. This one, who knows where that goes. Just to verify. That's good. That's good. This one goes all the way up there. Here. Good. That is not good. That did not make its way up here. Or did it? God, that looks terrible. Oh, that's all that crud. Okay. See where that's supposed to go. I just want to be sure. So that is supposed to go this via here. Good. This via here. Good. This one goes to this via here. Good. And then this one goes to this via here. And that's good. Okay. Let's go ahead and solder our chip in. That, hopefully this is the right one. I hope I wasn't paying attention. Oh well, we'll see. Because I got two sitting up here. Damn it. Alright. So we'll go ahead and solder this bad boy in. I think we'll be good. I'm pretty sure we will. Mario Tennis is a game that doesn't require a lot of reading Japanese, so there's definitely a good reason to want to get this one working again. I really like Mario Tennis on N64. It's one of the few games that I actually do like. Let me pull this out because we don't need to be that zoomed in. But hopefully somebody will find some joy with this in the future and get some use out of it. Just want to pin this in there real quick so I can work freely without worrying about that chip falling out. All right, so super easy stuff here. Just one of the great things about the curved tip is the drag soldering is really easy. Oh man, it smells like cat pee. That's disgusting. That's probably what it is too. Wouldn't shock me at all. Again, the helping hands would probably help, but also for me to move this chip in the viewfinder, it's nice to not have it tethered to anything. It's just a little sloppy looking on my sides, but that's fine. So whenever you drag solder, first thing you want to do is just verify that you did not bridge anything, and some of these look like ass. I'll go ahead and touch those up. And I'm rubbing more on the pin than on the actual pad. So we don't want to be too tough with that and rub that off. I'm using too much solder, which is why you see stuff like this. Probably not enough flux. All right, that looks a lot better. I think that looks pretty decent there. No major Hershey's Kisses or blobs or anything like that, so that looks okay. So let me go ahead and clean this off, and then we will test. Close the video without actually showing you the shit that I was talking about showing you in the beginning. So here we have our Mario Tennis, which used to be Mario Party 2, and this is all cleaned up and whatnot, and it doesn't look great. Let's zoom in a little bit. It doesn't look horrible either. It works. So one thing I do want to mention is that Mario Tennis worked just fine as is, but Mario Party in the new on the new board, it did not. I actually had to go. I don't know which one was the problem. Was it the save chip? Was it the CIC chip? Probably the CIC chip. But I had to swap out those chips back to the proper board for it to work. So even though Mario Tennis worked on whatever, Mario Party did not. So just take note of that. But this doesn't look awful. And it does work again. So let's go ahead and put some polish on there, some nail polish. This is what I got when I'm too lazy to break out the solder mask, or in a situation like now, I just have no idea where my UV light is. So this is basically the only option to cover that up and protect it. And normally, honestly, what I would do with these is I'd be very careful. I'd probably put a little bit on my dental tool here. Let me zoom out. Just, you know what? We'll stay zoomed in. I put a little bit on the end of my dental pick right here, right? And I would just try to get in there. Maybe I should do the microscope cam for this one. But I just dollop a little bit on there. And where are we at? And just kind of paint it on, and it's not working because I didn't get enough on the tip. Which, par for the course. It's also incredibly cold in here, so it doesn't seem to be staying liquid and flowy like it normally does. Let's try that again. So I put a little bit on the tip and just put a little bit on there so it's not like super obvious to the eye. I mean, obviously you're not going to miss that, but I don't normally paint a big old chunk onto the board, but that's what I'm going to do here. I really don't care. Like I said, this one is I'm not fooling anybody here, not that I want to anyway, but I'm just going to grab a little of this, and I'm not going to go crazy with it, but I'm going to just paint that on there. Call it a day. So it's very cold in here, so this stuff is like super stiff. Oh man, oh man. And on this side, of course, there's a bunch of traces that are affected, so we'll take one last quick look at those, and then we will paint over them and keep them protected, hopefully for many more years of use, if anybody can actually get some use out of this. Don't know if anybody will want to. And that looks terrible. That's all right. I'm gonna bend that that component back down where it needs to be. But yeah, this is not going so hot. That's okay. We can clean that up just a little before it dries. And I have a ton of nail polish on here. Like I said, it's just really cold, and the stuff is not wanting to flow like it normally does. All right, that's the problem I had with me having a workshop in the garage. Oh, let's see what we can get cleaned up. I don't want to do too much. I really don't want to put too much effort into this, to be completely honest. Yeah, I don't care. I don't care. I'll leave it. I got other stuff I got to get to. So there you have it. I'm going to let this dry off just a little, and then I'll show you this one and this one working, and we'll close out the video. All right, as you can see here, I've got my Mario Party 2 all cleaned up, sticker removed. I took another back. I really don't care that the sticker on here is torn because this is not in the greatest condition anyway. So we've got our Mario Tennis here working. As you can see, we're going to go ahead and replace that with Mario Party 2 over here. And see that it works. I have it on mute because having this playing in the background is really annoying. So you can see it works. Skip past this part and get to the title screen at least. There we go. Another one fixed. Catch you all on the next video, which I might just start right now.